Yo, what's good? It's Gawd, Zell. Today's video, we'll be going down some creepy rabbit holes on TikTok. This is gonna be a good one. You guys sit back, relax. Let's get right into it.
On the island, I saw him
Okay,
in the bedroom.
can you explain what you mean by shape-shifting here?
Well, when I was in the bedroom with him, because he used to take me into that small bedroom, and it was always dark and really cold, and then it was almost like when he was orgasming or something. Like I looked at him and suddenly his face like grew like big like this, and then I saw these huge black eyes like this, and then a big mouth with this horrible tongue and like this sort of dragon horn stuff, which is like almost like the devil. But I just, I saw him turn into this horrible, creepy thing, and I wasn't on drugs, I wasn't drinking alcohol, nothing like that was allowed. Like a lot of people think there were parties going on there. There weren't any parties. There was no alcohol, absolutely not allowed. Like, I smoked, but I had to smoke far away, and hide. And I had to wash my hands after smoking. They were very fanatical. They did not like things like that. But I could have been drugged, I don't know, because again, when you're in a place like that, they could slip something in your drink, in your water or in your food.
I don't know what it is, but it seemed like Epstein would be like a shapeshifter or something, right? How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah, this message goes out to the man who went over to his brother's house and unalived him viciously for harming his child in the most heinous of ways that you could probably think of. When his daughter came home from a sleepover from his brother's house and she told her dad that my uncle hurt me in ways and I can't stop bleeding between my legs, he didn't say anything. He got into his vehicle or walked over there, wherever that was. When the brother answered the door, that was it. He met his maker. Now, I know, violence shouldn't always be the answer, but it is in this case, and I say that he shouldn't be charged or sentenced, because at the end of the day, it was over his baby. And I know my babies and what I would do for them. So if you're not gonna free him, at least put out his public jail inmate number so we could put money on the books. Because that man, father of the year, because absolutely not. He said, not my baby, not today. I don't care if we're blood related. Sadder thing is in 2025, we can't even send our kids to our family's house without having that question. Isn't that wild? Disgusting. Have a day. Yeah, this.
Guess he got what he deserved. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, but have y'all seen this going around with Jennifer Garner reading this pizza book to the children?
It's pizza party. Tomorrow, then you're gonna love this book. Here's Sebastian. Look.
Okay, but have y'all?
How is that even a book? That's my opinion. Like, how is that, like, why does she even have that, right?
Did you hear about the mom in Texas who said her son was murdered and now his body is being displayed at a bodies exhibit in Vegas, and everybody says she's crazy? This is Chris Todd Eric, an athlete from Midlothian, Texas, who sadly passed away in 2012 at the age of 23. His death was listed as self-cancellation after police found evidence of cyanide in his body. His mother, Kim Eric Smith, doesn't believe that. She believes that her son was tortured and murdered by his father and their stepfamily in Texas. Kim says that she was told that her son had been cremated, but after examining the bodies at the Real Bodies exhibit, she believes that Chris's father and his family tried to cover up the murder by donating his body to be displayed in Las Vegas. When you look at the picture of her son and one of the bodies on exhibit, it's a perfect match. Kim says she has evidence that Chris's father's family are murderers, including what she believes are restraint marks across his body shown in the photos from his autopsy, as well as finding Chris's stepmother's name on a government watch list. Even with so much evidence, nobody believes Kim, and they're saying that she's going crazy after the loss of her child. What do you think of this story? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tierka with the T. Follow for more.
I hope that's not true, but it is. If it is, that is sick.
This underwater graveyard has hundreds of perfectly preserved Victorian bodies from the 1800s at the bottom of this lake. This is Lake Tahoe. Since they were all tied together, it's believed you'll find them still together to this day in their 1800s clothing, floating all around with each other, which people call the dancing table. We know the bodies are perfectly preserved because in 1994, a scuba diver went missing here, and they found his body again in 2011, perfectly preserved 17 years later. It's believed that you'll find hundreds of Chinese immigrant workers that were working on the railroad in the 1860s who were promised good pay and US citizenship once they finished their job. But they met a less fortunate fate. They were thrown into the lake with cement tied to their feet, and they're perfectly preserved because the temperature at the bottom of the lake never exceeds 39 degrees. So after 150 years, you would still find them in the exact condition that they were dropped in the 1860s. The famous marine explorer Jacques Cousteau came here in the 1970s to scuba dive to the bottom to investigate the dead bodies that lie beneath Lake Tahoe. But after his dive, he was freaked out by what he saw, immediately returned to the surface, and gave his famous quote, "The world is not ready for what I've seen." I'm surprised after this many years, we still do not have documentation of these bodies. So at this point, will they ever photograph them and document them? Follow and I'll go talk to the veteran locals of Tahoe before the end of this weekend, and I'll go do a deeper investigation. Stay curious.
I don't know if that's real, but if it is, I wouldn't even care to even bother, right? I wouldn't even bother.
You know why this water is considered dangerous to swim in for both animals and humans? If your answer was no, I really hope you stick around and watch this video. Not only does this video have information that could potentially save a life, there are many people on TikTok who have recently posted about losing their beloved pets because of water like that was dangerous to swim in. And I don't want that for you or for your furry friends, so please watch this video and learn something new. What we're looking at in this picture is an algal bloom. An algal bloom refers to when microscopic organisms that already live in the water start to exponentially grow, exponentially reproduce, and this poses a serious health risk for not only you, but other animals like your pets. Now, there's a few different types of algal blooms because they can be caused by a few different types of organisms. We're just going to focus on one, the main culprit, cyanobacteria. See, cyanobacteria live in virtually every type of body of water on the planet, which is why these algal blooms can pretty much happen anywhere. Freshwater, marine water, or salt water, rivers, lakes, ponds, doesn't really matter, they can pretty much happen anywhere. So when certain favorable environmental conditions arise, these organisms can start exponentially reproducing, and when they do that, they start producing cyanotoxins. These cyanotoxins can be neurotoxins, meaning they affect your nervous system, they can be hepatotoxins, meaning they affect your liver, but regardless of how they affect your body, universally, these things are not good. They can be very devastating for your health, and they can even be responsible for taking a life. This is why, unfortunately, many TikTokers have posted in the last few weeks they lost a beloved pet because they allowed them to swim in Lake Tahoe in California and Nevada, which is having a harmful algal bloom. These toxins are very potent. Even a very small amount can cause devastating symptoms and, of course, take a life. And it's not just ingesting or drinking the water that poses a health risk. Simply swimming in contaminated water or even breathing the vapor near these bodies of water can be enough to get you sick from these toxins. And I know that sounds really, really scary. Don't worry, I'm here to tell you how you can protect yourself. First and foremost, you should know that boiling water that has these toxins in it doesn't make it safe, and it can actually concentrate the toxins. The same goes for cooking fish that comes from a body of water that is having an algal bloom. Cooking the fish does not render it safe. It can also similarly concentrate the toxins. This is why the best way to protect yourself, the best way to prevent getting sick from one of these algal blooms is by simply staying up to date on resources in your local area, knowing how to recognize an algal bloom, and of course, reporting it whenever you see something suspicious. Most algal blooms are not harmful. However, you can't tell if it is a harmful one just by looking at it. Similarly, you can't tell if these cyanotoxins are present in the water just by looking at the water. That's why I'm sharing these resources with you. All of these are apps or databases that you can use to report harmful algal blooms or to monitor them in your area. If you're out and about enjoying nature and you see a body of water that looks suspicious, it looks like it might have a harmful algal bloom in the water, report it to a local agency. Depending on your state, it could be any one of these three. And I'm also very happy to link you to this very comprehensive, helpful resource that teaches you how to recognize harmful algal blooms in water and how to differentiate between safe water and dangerous water. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you feel a little bit more equipped to protect yourself, the people you love, and the pets that you love. Please check out those resources that I shared, and please be careful when you're enjoying the water this summer. Okay.
I don't know. I just find it crazy how water can help us, but yet it can kill us. You could drown or whatever she just said. That's crazy.
You guys, I have spent 57 hours on TikTok today, literally all day long. That's all I've been doing. I did clean out underneath my sink, but I was down all these rabbit holes. Garth Brooks, what? Crazy. I mean, I do remember a few years ago whenever they were saying that he was a serial killer and that dead bodies would show up in the towns that he had concerts that night. And I didn't believe that. I was like, that's such a dumb thing to believe. But now the girls come out and now he's like the new Diddy. I have a Diddy story too. I personally have a Diddy story where I didn't never go to his freak off, so I was never assaulted by him, but we did go to his hotel room and partied with him. And when he was dating Cassie, it was him and Cassie. And in 2012, we were in Las Vegas and he hosted a party at a club at the Paris Hotel. We went, anyway, that's a long story. So I've been down the Diddy hole. I have my own personal Diddy stories, but just as I was getting ready to go to bed, I decided to go look at my girlfriend's TikTok, Dawn Patterson. If you don't follow her, go and follow her. And she was talking about this crazy story about a dead body in a rug. She follows this girl on TikTok. Her name is Katie Santee. I'll tag her in this post. But I guess apparently she was planting or posting a fence in her yard, her and her husband, and they dug a hole and there was a rug in the hole. And it's like 2 feet down. And they can't get the rug out, and it's like 6 feet long. And she posted on TikTok, and everybody was like, oh, there's a dead body in that rug. You need to dig the rug up. Well, she called the cops. The TikTok people told her to call the cops. She called the cops. The cops came to her house. They thought it was suspicious, but then they called their bosses, and their bosses were like, no, if we can't do anything about it. If she wants to find out, she could dig the rug out herself. Sorry about that. My battery on my light went out. But anyway, so the cops came to her house and told her, no, we can't do anything. If you want to dig the rug up, it's up to you. So she was posted all this is she's been posted on her TikTok, and her TikTok followers are telling you have to dig the rug, you have to dig the rug. And it was too hard for her and her husband to dig the rug. So she called was saying to her followers, if you guys have a cadaver dog or an excavator or some kind of machine that could come and dig up the rug, she'll do it. But if that can't happen, then she's not going to dig up the rug. But everybody kept telling her she needed to dig up the rug. So she starts to dig up the rug. So this goes on for a couple of days. She keeps posting up, I think this has been going on for like 3 days, but her followers are like invested in telling her there has to be a dead body in that rug. So I guess today the FBI called her. And originally the 2 cops that came to her house said they weren't going to call the FBI or whatever. So I don't know, somehow I may have missed it how the FBI got involved, but the FBI called her today and said they were coming to her house like within the hour. So she was going to go live, and I think she went live while this was happening. I don't know, I just found the story tonight and I've been in the rabbit hole watching her stuff. But they brought cadaver dogs, and when they let the dogs out, the dogs ran and sat on the hole. Two different dogs, 2 different times, both went and sat on the hole. So now they have her yard is like crime scene, taped off, the news cameras are there. Her yard's full of police officers or FBI's, and they're bringing in a machine tomorrow to dig up the rug. So she's going to go live tomorrow. You guys need to go follow her. Her name is Katie Santee or something like that. I'll tag her so you guys can go follow her. But she has another story going on also during this time about a ghost being in her house. I don't know, it's crazy, you guys. It's crazy, the shit I watch on TikTok. The stuff we learn on TikTok, we find out more stuff on TikTok than the news. But she thinks she has a ghost in her house. She doesn't know if the ghost is from the dead body in the rug or the old lady that died across the street. Just go and watch her stuff. You will be invested just like me. But I can't wait till tomorrow when she goes live, when they start to dig up the body or dig up the rug. I don't know, is there a dead body in the rug? I don't know. You guys go follow her. I'm going to tag her.
Not long though. We do learn a lot more than we do on TikTok than the news. For real. It's like, and we get it so quick too.
There is a rolled up carpet buried underground that we came across as we were digging this hole.
I bet you it's deep.
I called the police. They're sending someone here. The cops also think it's weird as fuck. They were like talking about calling homicide. They were talking about how they'd have to get excavators out here. Oh my God. I just got off the phone with homicide. They just called me. They are sending detectives and cadaver dogs here in the next hour. We want to take a look at this rock. He said if the dogs do note something, if your house is about to become a fiasco, as long as they do not note to human remains, then we can proceed with the dig at 4:30 p.m. EST. I'm going to insert here the video of the dogs marking. And basically from there, everything went to fucking shit. They are very aware that I'm the one who called, and they have no concerns that it was me. Tomorrow, crime scene investigators will be here digging. They said that there's still a chance that this rug just could have blood on it. That doesn't necessarily mean there is a body in my backyard. CSI is going to be here soon. I'm still hopeful, and the police that I talked to yesterday said that there's a good chance that it's not a body. I will not go live while they dig. Imagine there is something there, and someone has to see that, you know, as a relative. I think it would be disrespectful, so I'm sorry to disappoint a lot of you. There's a tent set up, and there's 9 police officers and CSI. So they put this up outside so I cannot get any further. So homicide is here and missing persons, and now CSI is bringing the shovels out. Go any further than here. And I can see news cameras set up over there. They've been digging. Some of them are in the hole. We still don't know anything. My goal is that we can all laugh about this tomorrow. We're all gonna say, this was a funny, silly goose waste of time. Now this girl's famous for nothing.
Just to let you know, we found nothing to indicate any kind of body, human remains, anything.
That is the best news I could have ever heard. We're all celebrating. We are all celebrating. There's no body. They took the rug. They did take, it didn't come out as in one full piece. There's no body. There's no bones. There was no bones. Yeah. Party it up with me. My thoughts this morning, I was like, well, the value of my home just went down. Everyone knows where I live and the value.
Well, I am glad it didn't go how we thought it was probably gonna go, because they would have started questioning her probably too, right?
Her parents starved her so she could be their little girl forever. Now I want you to look at this girl and I want you to comment how old you think she is, okay? Here's another photo of her. Comment and then I'll tell you how old she was. She was 16 in this photo and she weighed 60 pounds. Officials warned them that she could pass from this and her dad dismissed it, saying that they were crazy. But like, that actually is the reason. Like, they wanted her to stay their little girl forever. Like, ew, what? And that's why they put her on this crazy diet. They had a rich family, they lived in Australia. Also, her face is covered and the parents' names are not out to help protect her identity. Started their investigation after her ballet teachers tipped them off, and that really shows what like a good teacher or mentor or just adult in your life can do for you. Just how amazing some role models or educators really are. But CPS got involved. They have been charged and sentenced. They are hiding their faces here, as they should. Who does this to a child? Like, good for them for realizing something was wrong and doing something about it. Because I feel like a lot of the times people are like, oh, like, it's not my kid, the parents can handle it, I hope they rot. And I'm ready to know who they are. I'm ready. This is gonna ruin her for the rest of her life, but I'm glad she's now in a place where she is safe and she is able to begin her recovery, but it's gonna suck and it's gonna be so hard and she's gonna struggle with this forever, all because of these two monsters. Come over here for more.
So Amber Rose was on Club Shay Shay with Shannon during an interview where Diddy got brung up. And she said, here's the thing. I've been to them Diddy parties. All of them. Every single Diddy party. And I ain't never heard about no freak-offs. So Shannon looked at her, he like, you just probably didn't go in the right room. So then she cleared the throat. She said, here's the thing. I don't think there's rooms, Shannon. That whole little transaction right there, by you doing all that, just told me it is them rooms. Because why would you say, I don't think? What?
You just go in the right room, not the wrong room.
I don't think there's rooms. I've had a conversation with Ray J. Ray J's one of my best friends. said, Ray, did they ever invite you to a freak off? Because they never invited me. And I done been at these parties. I just feel like, why I didn't get the invite? Never. No one ever asked me that.
Amber Rose sound like she upset she didn't get invited to the Diddy freak-offs. But here's what she got me, y'all. She started talking about Ray J being at the parties, and she was like, he never got invited either. But then Shannon asked her, were you at this Halloween party where Diddy's sons got into it with Ray J? And she said, yeah, I was there. And Shannon goes, what happened? And she said, she started laughing. She put her head down, looked up, and then she was like, well, Ray J said something along the lines of, I know your daddy better than you. Because I guess they told him, she said they told Ray J, keep my father's name out your mouth. Now, why would Ray J have their father's name in his mouth? Because y'all remember, Ray J was spilling the beans on certain shit. And they didn't like that. So they was trying to squabble up. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. You think Amber in on this? You think Diddy paid her off? Or do y'all think Diddy's innocent? He was having an innocent freak off.
To me, it sounds like she's trying to protect Diddy. That's what it sounds like.
I'm sorry, this case goes beyond insanity. At 12 years old, she helped her boyfriend, who was 23, slaughter her entire family. Jasmine Richardson, she was only 12, snuck this man, Jeremy Snike, a 23-year-old, into her basement where he brutally stabbed her mom, dad, and 8-year-old brother till they were killed. And they even made plans to live happily ever after. Jasmine met Jeremy earlier that year. He told her, I'm a 300-year-old werewolf who likes to drink blood, while he wears a vial of blood as his necklace. Jasmine's parents, Mark and Deborah, obviously did not approve of this very illegal relationship, and so she literally went wolf on them. She emailed Jeremy in secret and told him, I have a plan. It begins with me killing them and ends with me living with you. At around 5 a.m. on April 23rd, Jasmine left her basement window open when Jeremy snuck inside, who's intoxicated with hardcore drugs and alcohol, mind you. Made a loud noise that made Deborah go down to the basement and naturally check what it was. Jeremy jumped at Deborah and started slashing her over 12 times while she's screaming for her husband. Mark runs to the basement with a screwdriver, jabs Jeremy in the eye, but that was not enough. Jeremy overpowers Mark, stabs 24 times in the chest, but before he died, Mark asks him, why are you doing this? And Jeremy responds with, because it's what your daughter wanted. I mean, talk about the last words one wants to hear. He suffered so badly, but even their deaths left Jasmine unsatisfied. She goes into her 8-year-old little brother's room, his name is Jacob, and she slashed his throat straight through and then in the face and in the chest repeatedly. Really question why she killed him with so much hate, so I'm gonna explain her reasons later. Jacob tried defending himself so badly that he used a toy lightsaber. I mean, come on. After their triple homicide, Jeremy speeds back home in his pickup truck. He doesn't even wait for Jasmine. She had later arrived to his trailer home after stealing her mom's money, packing a bag full of clothes, and rinsing the knife of the blood that she killed her baby brother with. He ended the night by having sex in his trailer, and then later on they went to a house party where they started drinking, making out. She was sitting on his lap dancing. I mean, they were completely unremorseful. Jeremy was even bragging about gutting her parents like a fish and showing off his eye injury like a trophy to his friends. And even worse was Jasmine also telling her friends that her baby brother gargled while killing him. That's sick. After the house party, they ended up going to a convenience store with a friend, but they got caught and arrested. But let me say this, everything that even led up to this day is almost as disturbing. Jasmine was actually a normal girl with a normal family, but once she started hanging around the wrong group of gothic girls and using the internet, her behavior was off the rails. She started breaking every single rule. She would go to school in revealing clothing, mind you, she's in 7th grade. She was arguing with her parents constantly, and she even created a MySpace account where she faked her age, talked to older men, and posted inappropriate pictures of herself. She said that Jeffrey Dahmer Dahmer was her hero and that serial killers was a great obsession of hers and that she loved what they did. She had been introduced to Jeremy. Those two were inseparable and not in a good way. She would constantly sneak out and meet up with him. She would go to parties, concerts, and talk about how much she hated her parents. She was always saying how she'd rather be in foster care than live with anybody in that house. And Mark and Deborah were terrified for her daughter. She was a 12-year-old hanging out with a 23-year-old adult. She took their protectiveness as a big annoyance, which later got them killed. The one who had it worst was 8-year-old Jacob. He'd be forced to stay with Jasmine during family events, which she hated. She would also have to babysit him at the house, and then she would leave him alone in the house to go sneak out with Jeremy. And at one point, Jasmine had actually strangled Jacob because she was embarrassed being his sister. Meanwhile, this little boy telling his family members how terrified he is just being around her. It's all so dark and twisted, the tragedy that this family went through. After they were arrested, Jeremy went straight to prison. On first-degree murder, he had life with the possibility of parole after 25 years, meaning he had the chance to leave again by the time he was like, what, 43? But Jasmine, being the youngest person to be convicted of first-degree murder in Canada, she got the maximum sentence that somebody her age could get. 10 years. She had 10 years. She had spent most of those years in the psych ward, and after that the judge was like, okay, your behavior is amazing, you seem very remorseful, so you are free to go. And that was in the year 2016. As of 2021, her record was expunged, meaning it no longer exists. Do a background check on her right now and it will never show that she killed her family 17 years ago.
What's up with people getting away though? Like this is crazy. So people just out here just killing their own family and getting away with it. Oh nah, that's crazy. That shouldn't be allowed. I'm not gonna lie.
So Florida just released this man that took the life of somebody with an axe, and he proceeded to eat their brains and their eyes. Yes, you read that right. He was just recently released after spending 10 plus years in the state's most secure psychiatric hospital. What the hell is Florida doing? Keep this man locked up probably for the rest of his life. You mean to tell me that this man took the life of somebody with an axe? And then not only that, I'm pretty sure he dissected that man's head with that said axe. And he decided to devour their brains and their... Like, I literally just released a Jeffrey Dahmer copycat. And why would y'all only keep this man in there for only 10 plus years? Like, y'all couldn't keep this man for at least like 30 plus years and then release him? Personally, me, I'm keeping that man in that hospital until he dies, man. Because as soon as I hear that he ate somebody's eyes and their brains, oh yeah, he's staying in there forever. But y'all stay safe in Florida, man. Like, if you see this man, run the other way, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
People are sick. People are sick. That's crazy that we even have people like this. Like, man, sick.
This is Mr. Prada, a really big TikToker with over 4 million followers. But you see, Mr. Prada had a problem. He just got arrested for killing somebody. And the evidence is astonishing. First of all, the person he's accused of is a therapist, not his therapist, a therapist. Now, the therapist was found, listen closely, duct taped, covered with a blue tarp. So police were like, okay, somebody did this. Then suddenly the police hear that the therapist's car is being driven around. The police chief was like, everybody, you know what that means, right? An officer was like, it's a ghost. The chief said, you wait here. Everybody else, go find the car. And while they find the car, they say, pull over. Mr. Prada says, psych, does the race on them boys. The police chase him down. Mr. Prada crashes the car. They said, get out the car. He gets out the car. Then that boy get on feet. He kind of long. If you look close enough, he start running. He take off. Police start chasing him, but what I just said, that boy got length. He outruns them. Police said, we need help identifying. Everybody said, that's a TikTok star. Police said, oh. And well, from there, it was pretty easy to find his information. So they go to his house and they see red stuff all over the wall. The therapist read stuff. Neighbors were like, oh, I seen the therapist. He went into Mr. Prada's house the other day. Just to be sure though, police grab video surveillance and they see the therapist walking into Mr. Prada's house. Neighbors then say, yeah, and then we saw Mr. Prada walk out with a blue tarp. Police look at the footage, they see Mr. Prada walking out with a blue tarp. At this point, this is all police needed to identify Mr. Prada as dangerous. And when you're identified as dangerous by the police, it's on. At this point, all the resources and manpower of the Justice Department is going to be used against you. So, bro flees to Texas. The police in Louisiana, by the way, this whole thing happened in Louisiana, they couldn't go after him because they can't leave the state. So the U.S. Marshals go after him. Remember, every resource is used against you, and well, it was only a matter of time Marshals caught him. Now, I want to be clear, not much is known about why he did it, but a huge thing on the internet that's going around is that the therapist might have been inappropriate with Mr. Prada, because it turns out the therapist was accused of doing something inappropriate to a young male in 2015. Now, the charges were dropped. That doesn't mean he didn't do it, that just means the charges were dropped. People assume the therapist did this to Mr. Prada since the age of the 2015 person matches with Mr. Prada's age. And the lawyer's therapist at the time, listen closely, says the person who accused the therapist was unequivocally not Mr. Prada. It wasn't Mr. Prada, guys. And the therapist's past lawyer doesn't have a reason to lie. But his lawyer did say he speculates that it was something intimate going on with the therapist and Mr. Prada. The therapist was openly gay. He was found walking by himself into Mr. Prada's apartment. A lot of Mr. Prada's recent TikToks seemed like he was having issues with somebody he loved. And well, but again, this is speculation. People aren't gonna know what happened until like the actual court case. So we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Crazy, because nobody really never know what really happened. And it seemed like he's innocent, but do we really know?
It's whatever the case may be, he unalived him. It was blunt force trauma to the head, wrapped him up in some whatever they said, some tarp, threw him out on the side of the road. The police ended up seeing him in the therapist's car. They chased him, he crashed it, he got out, he ran, and he's now on the run. They're saying that it happened back in 2015. I just saw somebody's thing that the therapist was accused of touching somebody at 11. Now, if you do your math like everybody's doing, the boy is 20. Back in 2015, that would make him what? 10 or 11, whatever it is. I don't know. Allegedly, they're saying that the therapist had been accused of S.A.ing a guy that was a little boy that was 11 years old, which was a couple of years ago. It was accused.
Maybe that's why he killed him. Who knows, man? We don't really know. Anywhere it go, it's definitely something. Something happened. That's all I can say.
Now, if you're wondering what's going on here, Mexico decided to close their border due to tariffs. What you just witnessed was them shutting off the border. You can't go in, you can't get out. And this is all to our fine administration. Donald Trump opposed tariffs on Mexico. Mexico responds by closing off the border. Some would consider this a good thing because now people can't come into the United States. Some might consider this a bad thing as they might want to flee the country. But as I always say, and you know it's true, this is what the American people voted for. To hold, it's about to be a long 3 years and 9 months.
You got a point, though. You do got a point.
This owl just scared me so bad. I looked over and he was looking and I was like, is this a fake owl? And then he blinked. I'm waiting for him to do it again. You saw him move? Blink again, bro. Do it, come on. Why are you here in the daytime?
It was like that owl scared himself, right? That's funny.
Go look up the young lady. I think she's 21 or 22 years old. Jessica James. She is like 21 years old. Somebody two women throwed acid on her. She's in a hospital right now fighting. Okay? Didn't I just tell y'all? I made a video and I told y'all jealousy is real. And they got people that hate to see you breathing. They got people that don't like to see you coming. They got people that don't want to see you on top of this dirt. I told y'all it's real. It's been real. But right now, this world is becoming something I never ever saw it this way. You can feel it now. They can't even hide it. And all because of a man. Probably a man she probably didn't even want the attention from. And guess what? I hope they catch him. Because from my understanding, they looking for him. And y'all know I'm gonna update y'all on this story. Beautiful young lady, beautiful girl. And remember, we got the same 24 hours in a day. Whatever God doing in somebody else's life, he'll do it for you too. She can't help that she's fine. She can't help that she's pretty. Go have surgery. You can fix that. You heard me? You can fix that, but you got to fix your heart first before you fix anything on your body. Jealousy is something I had to pray on when I was 18, 19 years old, because it is real and people have it in them. Now, you may have a little bit, and I don't want people to say, oh, I ain't got a jealous bone in my body. I promise you, jealousy is in the Bible. It's in the Bible, and people carry it. But you got to understand that you cannot be envy and jealous the way you want to hurt somebody. Okay? You might have a little feeling come across you. Oh, you know what? I should have that car. I should have that house. But you get out of it and you pray about that. But we have to be real with ourselves. It's when you sitting there thinking about somebody and what they have in their life and how they look all day and all night. That little girl did not deserve that. Y'all go look her up. I'll update y'all, like I said. Hugs and love, J-Lo.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't compare your life to anyone else, man. Just be happy with yours, you know. Just like J. Cole said, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. That's real. Was that a reptilian or something? What was that?
Shit, talking about if you're right-brained, you'll see a tree. If you're left-brained, you'll see two people holding hands. Well, I guess I ain't got no motherfucking brain at all. Cause all I see is a motherfucking ostrich that look like he been smoking that gas.
This is going to blow your mind. What two colors do you see in this shoe? Look below for the answer.
What did y'all see? I seen pink and white. What did y'all see?
I'm rocking purple.
Show me your hands. Stay right there. Stand up. Turn around.
Turn around. Put your hands on your fucking head. Stand up, motherfucker. Stand up. Stand up and put your hands on your fucking head. Turn away from me. Back up. Back up. Keep coming. Keep coming, motherfucker. Stand up. Walk that way. Put your hands above your head. Ma'am. Stand up. Put your hands on the back of your head.
Hold left. We're gonna take this. All right, go. There you go.
I'm rocking.
I don't know what they did, but somebody was snitching. They definitely got snitched on. Dang.
Why is Michael B. Jordan posing like this on the cover of the GQ magazine? If you know exactly why he is posing like this right here, and why he looks rather demonic at that. This is more truth in plain sight. With those of you out there that have eyes to see the truth for what it is, this is what's going on here. This is why he is posing like this on the cover of GQ magazine. I hope more and more people wake up and realize what exactly is going on, because again, this is more truth in plain sight. People really need to wake up again. If you know, because they constantly have to show you truth in plain sight. Wake up.
It's true, they feel like that's the way they get rid of their karma. But no, that's not how it goes. You still did something wrong.
I can't even go for a walk on my lunch break without y'all harassing me.
Ground beef. What's in it? I bet you don't know this. The government allows up to 18% of defects, they call it, in ground meat. That includes roaches, flies, larvae, insects of any kind, maggots, rats, mice, and probably the occasional finger or two. I doubt they're gonna throw away a 300-pound batch of ground beef because somebody lost the tip of their finger in the grinder. I'm just saying, sweep that under the rug and put that in sausage. This applies to ground turkeys, ground porks, ground chickens, and anything made in the sausage. Sausages, hot dogs, that's a whole nother ball game. No pun intended.
I believe it. I believe it. Hey, these folks are sick. Sick. All right, y'all. That's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. We'll be doing more rabbit holes and stuff like that. Just be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, if you like content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.